Hi, I'm Eshton. I'm one of the co-founders of Syne Studio. We restore vintage kimonos and work with upcycled fabrics, including Japanese fabrics as well. And since we are all here at my store and pop-up at Circular Fashion Hub, come along. So one of my favorite things here is these pieces. They're called Shibori. So it's the technique that is used to dye these pieces. So this technique, if you are here in the store, you can feel it actually has texture, which is one of my favorite things about this piece. As you can tell, I'm also wearing it. So represent lah, right? So the thing is, they all start actually as, most of them start actually with a white base fabric. So they're all silk, and then they are tied individually. So they're all knotted. So every dot you see here is individually knotted by a master craftsman in Japan. And then they actually dye the whole piece. So they resist dye it. So wherever is tight stays white, and wherever is not tight and knotted becomes whatever color they do. So the cool thing about it is it doesn't only become a flat color. They do things like these, which means they tie it different ways and then they dyed it different times. So it creates all the different little textures and little colors, which is, to me, absolutely amazing, and one of the reasons why we try to bring in these pieces. Another thing here, which is pretty cool in my opinion, is these, which are traditionally men's pieces, but they have full hand-painted drawings and paintings inside. A lot of them kind of have a little bit of gold to give it the extra luxury, but it's kind of crazy that they're hand painted. They've been around for, a lot of them here have been around for like 30 to 40 years, but they've kept in very good condition. The cool thing about this is the outside is completely plain. So it actually comes from a time in Japan which eventually led to the whole era of quiet luxury, which we all kind of know nowadays. It happened because the merchants got really rich and the aristocrats hated that. So they outlawed them from wearing anything fancy outside. So there's a bunch here. They all have relatively clean looking pieces on the outside. The fabrics don't have much to it, but the insides tend to have really over the top paintings, which to me is such a cool thing. It kind of has a bit of history to it, which is one of the joys that I love. We also do have a whole bunch of other pieces which are slightly more everyday. We try to keep them not too crazily priced. Sometimes you can find gems like this, which is also dyed similarly in the Shibori style, but it's not as lavish as the ones that you see on the other side. But of course, there's always little bits of cool things like the lining inside, which is just beautiful. So recently, we've been trying to bring in a different range of stuff. We've got a whole bunch of colors here. And then one of my favorite things that we've done recently is these bags. We kind of just launched this about 4 or 5 months ago. We tried this at boutique fairs and people loved it. So it's an evening bag. This is actually made from the Obi belts. So the Obi belts are the thing that you tie onto a kimono to kind of keep it all together. So they're usually kind of this wide, and then we wanted to find a way to showcase them where it's not completely covered up and still kind of keeps in line with what an obi would look like, which is why there's kind of folds here, and we kept that in line so that it represents what the obi usually looks like, especially at the back of a kimono. But it's also usable in terms of how people can use it, because it's an evening bag, and then you can put it on the side, and then there's like a little slot here so that it's usable for people. And this has been quite a hit. We're thankful that it's been quite a hit. It's like the 5th iteration of our bags, so it's good that we found something that people love, and we hope that you guys will love more of the things that we do, and we hope to see you here. Thank you!